Wow. Just wow. How incredible. Hey, everybody. How's it going? Oh, I got chills. I got chills over my whole bod. I'm feeling it. I'm ready. Dude, KBBQ, the savior. We got the Burning Legion. We've got the Burning Legion. I was originally calling them Burning in His Flames. I thought that was kind of a cool name. But with the Burning Legion, dude, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. We talked about it. We hyped it up. And we did it. So I want to go through this. I don't know what we're doing here. Actually, let's put a little chat here. Let's see. I think we've got the power. I don't know. I needed a break from staring at spreadsheets and talking to sponsors and doing all that stuff. And given that the hype is real, I wanted to talk to you people. I want to get my finger on the pulse. You know, I want to know what's happening. Oh, that's for Moonduck. I want to get into the wide world of all things Betway Midas Mode 2. Hey. Let's see if this works now. Hey, there it is. All right, cool. So here we are. Probably chill for an hour. Chat with chat. All right, let's do it. What do we have here? I didn't set up my OBS before this. I don't know what my overlays look like. Here we go. Let's try that. Should we add a camera here? Get some facial reactions from old Zyori. Get a little background music going. We're going to get the whole thing. We're professional streamers. Gang, I want to talk about the book, too. What the fuck? We got a book. Woo. Let's try a little chill hop. Sorry, probably going to have moments where I have to tab out and chat with people. Okay, sorry about that. Let's zoom in here. Let's take a look. I think most of you are familiar with the announcement by now. But I want to go over it. I want to talk about it. I want to talk about the hype. Shout out to Cap as well for doing that voiceover. Big fan. Good work there. The book is not available on Amazon Canada. When will it be available? Great question. I don't know exactly. I know the international stuff is delayed. They gave me a little timeline that said USA processes in like 1 day, and then international can take anywhere from 3 to 6 business days before they're up and operational. So soon TM. I saw in like some parts of Europe, like Sweden, places like that, the earliest available was October 1st, October 10th, something like that. So it shouldn't be long. It's all print on demand. So it's basically as soon as they can get it all printed up. Sorry about that, though, mate. That would explain why I haven't sold any in Canada yet. Hopefully next week. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Okay, so let's do it. North America, we got Team Anvergesa. Super stoked. Of course, this is infamous from TI10. Glad that we could mix in some South American Dota. Hopefully we don't have ping issues. That was my big concern when they were brought up. But, dude, this is a historic team. They made a big run at TI9. Hope I said TI9 a moment ago. TI9. The one we just saw in China. I like this squad. I think their mentality will be interesting for Midas Mode. Excited to see how they stand up against these other boys. Beast Coast. They don't have a roster yet. I don't know what it is, but I'm excited to see what the Beast Coast roster will be. Meanwhile, they have an adorable mascot named Crest. I like the way that... Shout out to Deja. J-Storm. We've got Moose. And debut their Peruvian player. Haven't seen this squad since the Dota Summit 10. Okay. This is the one I'm really excited for, though. The Fighting Papegas. Eternal Envy stack, as we've been calling them internally. We've got Envy, Brile, Moon Meander, Snake King, and AUI 2000. So, cool stuff. Saving the best for last here, of course. China, we've got Vici Gaming. Got eHome. Fnatic going to be hailing from Southeast Asia. I think this roster is still getting figured out. But rumor has it they'll be playing with Febby, so that's kind of interesting. And kind of the curveball for the Chinese region is going to be the Burning squad. So Burning, of course, legendary player. He's going to be captaining a team with some collection of players that I don't know if they're like players that he's training. I actually don't know exactly how the Burning's Legion squad is being selected, but I know it's Burning choosing, and I think it's going to be younger players, kind of like the iconic captain leading the squad through the depths of Midas Mode. Really excited to see what comes out of this. I'm glad we added a Chinese region. It was kind of cool we were able to mix in a Southeast Asian team too. I like doing this cross-regional stuff. One thing to keep in mind here is that China is going to be the last region. So for the sake of scheduling, we've got North America and we've got Europe, and they're kind of woven together to make a schedule that works for both. You want Europe to start kind of early in the morning, our time in North America, so they're playing at a reasonable hour. And then you want the North American teams to play in the afternoon at kind of prime time for North American viewers. So China is just all primetime China. It's a little bit more isolated just as its own region, and it's going to come right at the end after the Europe and North American Grand Finals. So it's going to be interesting because I don't know if that's an advantage or like a disadvantage for the Chinese teams, because it is going to be the same algorithm in terms of pricing the heroes and how that meta has kind of developed. And a lot of that price point in terms of how much they cost to pick, how much they cost to ban, has to do with performance. So popular heroes will rise up in cost. Heroes that win a lot will rise up in cost. And, it comes kind of pre-calibrated, and we're doing some testing to try to get those numbers right. But I expect some fluctuations. Quite a bit. And I think the way the numbers start is going to be very different from the way the numbers look at the end. And that's what's kind of cool about Midas Mode, is now we have all these new metrics to look at. We can kind of look at these stock chart type graphs of, okay, here's Arc Warden. At the beginning, he was worth 50 moonbucks. And okay, he jumped up because this team pocket picked him twice in a row and won. So, streaks maybe are weighted a little bit more heavily than just wins sprinkled about. All those sorts of things are kind of factored in. So China's going to have a lot more data to play around with than these European and North American teams that have to play on day one. So kind of interesting. We'll see if that affects the gameplay in the region, and also just curious to see how the strategy varies. So let's hop into Europe. This is the big stuff. We've got OG, the TI winners. Very exciting there. Ana will be playing with the team. Also very exciting. I guess Thompson announced he was taking a break, but it will be the full squad. Sorry, have another message here. All right. So pretty stoked to have OG. Again, they fit this like exact kind of model. I remember one time, this is like how I always think of OG whenever I hear about this squad. We were doing a show match series. I think it was actually sponsored by Betway. It was part of that Betway thing. And we were contacting teams, and it was just like a straight 5v5 head-to-head. I think it was supposed to be King of the Hill, so you get invited back if you win, but it's whatever. You can just play for the cash. So we invite them. OG accept sort of tentatively without dates, just like conceptually, like, yeah, we would consider it. Okay, cool. So we organize stuff. We get the team list. We get the whole thing set up. We start making a schedule. We contact them with a potential match date, and they come back and say, is this captain's draft, question mark? And we go, no, it's just regular old captain's mode, just a normal show match. And they go, oh, we thought this was some kind of weird game mode. We're not interested if it's just captain's mode. That's boring. And we kind of fired back like, well, that sucks. We can't really change the format of the tournament for you guys, but I appreciate what's being communicated here. You guys, like, our brand is so closely tied to the elimination mode and Midas mode and captain's draft and all these other fucking ridiculous shenanigans that you guys just assume that that's all we do. And that was like a wake-up call for the current state of the Moonduck brand. That is just so funny. It's like one of the only times that we've had a team actually reject our invitation on the grounds of, oh, this is just a regular competitive tournament. Okay, yeah, not interested. No, we're good. We've got plenty of those. We wanted to have some fun today. Sorry, Slacks. I thought we were going to have some fun today. So I fucking love those boys. No Tail was just on the Things We Say podcast with Suns Fan and Cinderin. So if you haven't checked that out, that's like top tier Dota podcast. Get on it. So good shit there. The Sir Sadim Stunners. This is a fun one. The streamer stack from Europe: Cinderin, Gork, Sing Sing, Sexy Bambo, and Wagamama. A lot of names there. Of course, we did want to bring Cinderin as a commentator, but with traveling and his schedule and all this kind of stuff, it was just easier to have him play remotely, and that helped rally some of these other folks to hop on board. So super stoked to have this like all-star lineup. And Sexy Bambo is a fucking hero in Moonduck alternate game modes. For those of you that are OG Moonduck fans, and by OG I mean like way back when, the old Midas modes, man, Sexy Bambo is always the guy to watch. He was popping off with Sand Kings and all these playmaker heroes. He is like the player for these kind of game modes. He has that kind of like, no, we just gotta fuck him, dude. You know, like this is the guy that's going to be making calls for Super Roche on this team. You know, I can just feel it. I can see that Bambo, like, guys, they're in Roche. Let's fuck them. Spend the money. Spend the money. So I'm ready. The Sir Sadim Stunners as well. This is prime storytelling here. Now this is the real juicy stuff. TI3 Alliance. We have actually been able to rally the old squad that took the International 3, Loda, S4, Bulldog, EGM, and Ake, the iconic roster. And they're going to be squaring off against TI1 Na'Vi, the El Clasico, or I guess sort of remnants of it, the old Dendi, Puppy, Havost art style, and Light of Heaven. Unbelievably exciting. I remember when this came up in one of the meetings like months ago of, okay, what are we going to do for teams? You know, and this was a whole strategy. You guys got to keep in mind that we've been wanting to do Midas mode for at least a year. Like, after the first one, we always wanted to do a Midas mode too, just based on the fan reaction, the whole concept. Like, it was always a plan to do more of them. And then after Captain's Draft, we had to take some time to kind of recalibrate, figure out some financial concerns, and get everything all tuned up before we could dive back in. But we've had Midas Mode 2 planned for a pretty long time, and the dates have just kept getting pushed back because either we couldn't get teams, there were other events that refused to reschedule, or there were qualifiers that popped up on dates that we previously thought were free. There just seemed to be all these variables that we couldn't control, and every time we tried to pick a set of dates and just stick to it, it was a backfire. It would just be like immediately, nah, sorry, we can't play. This event has already tried to claim that, even though it's not on the calendar. So it's been a difficult song and dance, and we actually thought, like, we were close to announcing, dude. We had almost locked in dates for before TI, and we were going to be the last tournament before TI, and we were super nervous about it because we thought our team's going to want to play in this bullshit right before serious Dota mode kicks in and they're like in boot camp mindset. And of course, nobody wanted to play. It was that time of like, hey, we're already burned out. We don't have any extra bandwidth for this kind of shit. sorry, dude, nothing personal, but this just doesn't work for us. So we pushed it back again, and we said, all right, we're going to be like right in that slot after TI. And we knew it would be a risk with, well, what's the qualifier schedule look like? What are the other tournaments looking like after that stage? When's the roster lock going to be done? You know, how do we set a date that is accurate when we don't know how close we can get to TI or the qualifiers for the next beginning of the circuit? It was a kind of a shit sandwich. You know, you sort of just have to pick some dates and say, okay, this is it. This is it. This is the best we can do, and we're there. So obviously some things unfolded and some things got moved around, and we're here, and we are where we are. But we had a lot of contingency plans lined up. You know, we were prepared for that moment where, all right, we're locked into these dates and we still don't have teams, because most tournaments you can get some partial commitments ahead of time. You can say like, all right, I know this event's still 6 months away, but we'd really love to have Team Secret there. Are you guys interested? Can we tell sponsors that Secret is interested in considering it? Most teams will say, yes, sure, that's fine, no problem. In this case, you're asking teams that question 6 months in advance at a date when they know, like, well, we may or may not have a team at that date. And that's even coming from teams that are stable or good or have a chance. I mean, look at Liquid, right? That's a team that 6 months ago, if you were like, hey, guys, you want to play in a tournament right after TI? Yeah, sure, I guess. Yeah, we'll probably be around, right? Like, it's so hard to predict what effect TI is going to have in terms of roster shuffle on all of these top-tier teams that you want to get commitments from. So we knew going in it would be a sprint, and we thought about this kind of all-star type lineup deal if we couldn't get anyone. And we had thought about doing this streamer stack, the Sursadeem Stunners, just to mix it in as the fourth team, just because we thought it would be cool. We thought it would be in the spirit of the tournament. It would be a lot of fun to see these kind of players band together and play against some of the big boys in the region. So this just was the next digression after that, and lo and behold, we were able to do it. I definitely think some of that Reddit hype after the dates got changed helped us here to secure these teams. And when I say us, I really mean Slacks. But it's crazy that we've been able to do this. And I mean, I have to give a shout out to all of these players that have agreed, because I think they see that this is great fan service. Like, the community is rallying behind this. They're super excited. They want to see it. So I'm glad that we've been able to communicate that value to these players, is like, hey man, this is a cool thing. And of course, we're benefiting. I'm not lying about that. It's a Moonduck tournament. We own it. By playing, you're helping Moonduck, so you're doing us a favor. But it seems like the Betway Midas Mode 2 has grown into something more than that, dude. The community has fucking embraced this thing in a way that I kind of never thought possible. Like, when we're planning this event months ago, this is not something you would ever bank on. Like, hey guys, we're just going to take over Reddit. Hey guys, we're just going to do a team announcement that's going to go totally viral and hit /r all. It's totally just like part of the plan. You know, this has morphed into something that the community has wanted for so long, and now Slacks has put so much into it and come up with all these really great ideas and all these super unique activations. Like, do you know how long Slacks has been wanting to do something reminiscent of this VR Roshan? Like, ever since the Vive was introduced, he has wanted to do something where we take fans, put them in VR, and have them interact with the game. And whether they're just spectators or like they're visible to players or they can do taunts or something, he's always wanted to do this. And now we've finally got the right team, where we've got the tech, we've got the programmers, we've got Layerth for the production, we've got this incredible team of artists that are so unbelievably talented. It is fucking insane. Like, I don't, it's just slowly come together. I guess this is the product of having a network like Moonduck just slowly accumulate contacts over the last 4.5 years. And here we are. We just signed on, his name's David. He did a lot of the CG and motion graphics for the first Midas Mode, but he did those with virtually no instructions. I mean, we didn't have any idea what the production was going to look like. I solo produced Midas Mode 1. Half of our team was focused on Captain's Draft 4. Pimp Muckle, our fucking tech director, was basically all in on Captain's Draft 4 because that was a goddamn DPC event, minor on the Valve circuit. At the time, Midas Mode 1 was just this little like $80,000 budget kind of joke tournament that Slacks and I were trying to pull together. So the production was like an afterthought. It was like, all right, how much budget do we have for graphics? Not much. So this guy David just made a bunch of stuff and said, hey, I made all this shit. If you like it, use it. Pay me what you can. We paid him what we could. We used as much of it as we could, and then we brought him back for Betway Midas Mode 2, and holy shit. We haven't released much of it yet, but damn, he's working on some fucking fire, ladies and gentlemen. He's got, like, the eye of Slacks, where he understands when Slack says, all right, I need meme level 7, you know? Okay, crank it up to meme level 9. David speaks the meme language. So, like, Slacks and him have this mind meld ability to just visualize content. And the stuff that gets produced is pretty wild. The only difference is he actually understands technology, so he can do stuff like alpha channels and transitions and 3D graphics, and, you know, uses tools that are more sophisticated than Windows Movie Maker and Sony Vegas. So it's just incredible that it's all come together. And every day I wake up and I'm just blown away by the reaction from the fucking community here. It's not Pop-Tart. It's a different day. There's a lot of fucking Davids out there. It's a goddamn popular name, boys and girls. So yeah, we're here, folks. If you've got any questions, you know, fire away. I've actually been wanting to do this for a while. This kind of chat with chat concept, just once a week or every other week or something. Just pop on and do like an informal Q&A, just sort of like, hey, what's going on, man? Let's just, you know, not really a podcast, but I'm gonna talk to you guys and see what's cooking. David, why aren't you a fucking mod in my chat? Let's fix that right now, my man. But yeah, if y'all have any questions about Betway Midas Mode 2, I'd be happy to field them. I've got at least another half hour here to chat with y'all now that the team announcement is live. Tickets are still available. Going full sellout mode here today. I got no qualms about it. We can also talk about the book. Holy shit. Surviving Esports is out. I haven't done anything public since it was published besides tweet and post on social media, but Surviving Esports, the Zyori story, it is available on Amazon. Some places, I guess, a little bit delayed in delivery or ordering, but most folks have been able to grab a copy, at least that have tried. I think if you're USA based, it's there. Link below the Twitch stream. Dude. Oh, Deja, I should make you a mod as well. I've been slacking on my stream. Are you still playing Classic WoW? What server? Yep, I'm a White Mane Horde. I should probably update that under my Twitch stream. I'm level 47, so Undead Priest still going pretty well. I was making a lot of progress. Once I got my mount, I really slowed down, and then the last like week, Midas Mode has kicked my ass. It's been, I mean, poor Slacks is grinding it hard. I feel for him. You know, this thing's his baby, and there's just a lot of stuff that he has to tackle and do himself, and he's slaying it so hard. But it has really been, the last couple days are those, like, I don't get a nap, you know, and that sounds really entitled, but I'm so used to my midday nap, and I've been having these days where it's up at 6, down at 9, and you just hit the bed and just fucking flop over, and you wake up to your phone freaking out on the floor, and you're like, all right, 50 messages. Okay, let's dive into it. Ugh, and it just goes, you know, and it's just one thing after another, and the art of Midas Mode is navigating the chaos, right? So much of this stuff is planned, but a lot of it is also just developing, and we're rolling with it and making adjustments and changes and altering our plan to accommodate the needs of the community and concerns or whatever else as they come up. So it's just it's a living beast, man. It really feels like it's alive. When you have a project like this that is reliant on this like tower of, I mean, once you start factoring in like our partners at Hotspawn, right? Our partners at Betway, our partners at Malwarebytes, our partners at Kennedy, all of the video editors, all of the graphic designers, all of the talent, all of the people writing the bounties, all of the programmers that are designing the back end, calibrating the system, building the interactive stock market. It's a shitload of moving parts, and you just have to accept that there are pieces of the pyramid that you have no clue about individually, where, you know, this is my little section. I'm in charge of sales and logistics and all this stuff, and I kind of touch production a little, and I kind of touch this, but when it comes to the stock market or the algorithm, I don't fucking idea. I don't have the brain space to manage all of it. And it's a good thing. It's showing that we're finally able to scale a little bit and break out of that single point of failure fallacy and actually fucking delegate some responsibilities. We still have a ways to go, but we're getting there, man. We're getting there. Yeah, so Fun One Dota, we got him to agree, I think, partially through the power of Slacks. That was definitely a big part of it. A lot of hours of just talking, selling, making videos, contacting teams, and not just saying, hey, do you want to play in this tournament? But, hey, this tournament's really awesome. Hey, look at all these comments from fans that want you here. Hey, look at this marketing opportunity. Selling them on the value of it. That's how we did it. A lot of honest and candid conversations, a lot of memes, a lot of laughs. And a lot of support from the community. It's the sort of the perfect storm of all those things mixed together. And it is a cool idea. I think when you like lay it out on paper of, hey, Midas Mode is this, it's designed to be fan service and fun and memey. Hey, how can we one up the memes? Hey, let's mix some old rosters together. And it sells the same way you're excited about it. I think the players are excited about it. There's some old rivalries there, dude. There's some old fucking rivalries. I think Puppy would be pretty fucking excited to kick old Alliance's ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though it's sort of a joke mode, that would fucking feel good. This is a rare opportunity. Individually, I don't think this would be organized. Like, none of these players would organize this as a show match or something. And if it wasn't somebody like Slacks that had this kind of credibility to make it cool and make it fun and make it big, I don't think they would buy into it. You know, if somebody just said, hey, I want to put down $10,000 to do an El Clasico TI1 Navi TI3 Alliance, I don't think they would do it. Like, I think you'd have to pay each player so much money to make it worth it. It wouldn't exist in a vacuum as a little show match thing. It sort of needs the infrastructure of a big event like this and that hype wagon for it to make sense for the players individually. So it's a system. It's a system, man. It's pretty cool. It's pretty wild. I'm beyond stoked. I don't have the right vocabulary to express it. As you can see, I'm quite tongue-tied. Will the team videos be made public? Which team videos? Sorry, what are you talking about, Coward? Ninetales. Will we see a return of elimination mode or captain's mode? Good question. I don't know. A lot of that stuff. It's funny. Every time we do one of these tournaments, I get this crazy influx of inbound. Which is a great thing. I'm not complaining in the slightest, but there's always this mixture of people that want really short-term partnerships, folks that just want something kind of in the midterm, and then people that only want long-term. So when we first announced the Betway Midas Mode 2 with Betway as the sponsor and this hype, like, you know, audience, live studio audience type concept, got a couple of emails from people that were like, hey, we have an idea for an event in 2021, and we're really interested in getting Moonduck on board. I'm like, 2021? What the fuck are you talking about? I don't know where I'm going to be 2 years from now. Like, we're still taking this thing kind of one step at a time, my man. Like, sure, I'm interested. Sign me up for 2021. I don't really know what to tell you or how to calibrate details around that. So we're all in on Midas Mode 2 right now. This is just like all hands on deck, biggest operation we've ever done, most people involved, most moving parts. So there's a lot riding on this. This is like the most hype we've ever had. So we're just focused on delivering. We're focused on making sure this tournament runs smoothly, that we deliver on all the promises we've made, because we have made a fuckload of promises to a lot of people, including fans like you. So we just want to make sure everything works. And if things don't work, we want to make sure that we can accommodate for that and get our backup solutions in place so that everybody's happy and satisfied with everything that we've got going on. So today is actually a big testing day. This is like the final deadline of everyone's work is done, and we are all hands on deck for QA and just running through like algorithm and math testing and all that stuff. Get stuff out of theoretical and do some kind of practical hands-on data collection. So it's a lot of shit. We will tentatively be doing more. I mean, the goal is to do more, right? If Midas Mode is a success, we make money here. We can do more elimination modes or captain's drafts or whatever else. It's just a matter of finding time in the schedule and all that kind of shit. I think if we can deliver on this, there's no reason why we wouldn't want to do a Midas Mode 3 or, bring back elimination mode. I just see it as the more events we do, the bigger our resume is, and the easier it is for us to find bigger and better event partners to keep kind of moving up that ladder. So, yeah, the more the merrier. But yeah, 2021, dude. I was thinking about that John Mulaney bit where he talks about signing a mortgage, and it's like a 30-year term, and she's like, all right, so you'll be finished paying this off in 2042, and he's just like, 2042? That's not a real year. Sure, whatever, lady. Sign me up, 2042. That's exactly how I feel, but for esports, it's just like 2 years, you know? I always tell people, if anyone is promising you a 5-year plan in esports, they're probably full of shit. Unless you are a major player, you're like a DreamHack, and you can control your DreamHack schedule. You know, outside of those extreme outliers that have been in the business for decades, it's pretty hard to confidently say, yeah, 5 years from now, we're gonna be doing this, I'm gonna be doing that tournament, I'm gonna be fucking this tournament. Like, dog, it doesn't work that way. Things change so quickly, things evolve. 2 years from now, we could have a completely different DPC system that could fundamentally change the structure of how things operate. You know, that DPC season that we did Captain's Draft 4 in, that was kind of a unique opportunity. That was a season of heavy experimentation where it's like, hey, we're changing this fundamentally. We want third parties to own some of these majors and minors. Let's throw some darts. Let's see. Hey, if you want to do it and you've got the money, let's go. And there were some disasters like GESC, and there were some really good stories out of that. And that's probably the only DPC circuit that we'll be able to do a captain's draft on. I don't think there's anything else that we'll be able to, like, if it's this smaller structure where we've only got 4 minors, 4 majors, or 5 minors, 5 majors, none of those are ever going to be captain's draft. So it's kind of cool that we were allowed to do a DPC event for that, but that was a super unique time, right? That was an opportunity that was created by Valve in the landscape. We couldn't have predicted that as part of a 2-year plan before that change was announced, and we couldn't predict that moving forward. So it is sort of an interesting conundrum of planning, where part of our strength is being agile and being able to just jump on opportunities when we see them, which is tricky when we're talking about scaling, because you know, some of these big partners, even like Betway, for example, they're a huge company. They take quality control very seriously. They want to proof content before it goes out. They want to make sure their brand is being represented the way they want their brand represented. That's a totally reasonable ask. If we want to elevate this broadcasting to emulate anything like traditional broadcast TV, well, fuck, dude. We need to start planning and getting this shit prepared before it goes. We're so stuck in this mindset of like, all right, camera's on, we're live, one take, it's out. Hey, we did the best we could. That works really well for esports, but as you start scaling up, like, all these traditional media outlets have way higher standards for quality control. I talked to a network executive that was interested in either starting an esports channel or bringing a tournament to traditional TV that wasn't just Overwatch or something like that. And we were talking about Dota, of course. That's the only game that we do. And it was sort of an interesting dialogue, just discussing the basic parameters of what would this look like? If we were to try to do this, what would the requirements be? It's like, okay, well, we would do 3 months of filming and probably 3 months of planning before that. And then after filming, we'd probably do another 4 months of quality control, reviewing the footage. And then after that, then we'd want to consider reshoots, and then we'd QA the reshoots. And then after that, we'd get pretty close to a finished product that we'd be comfortable airing on TV. And just like, Jesus, we're talking about like a year to create like, what, 10 hours worth of content? Like, it's just so far on the other end of the spectrum compared to all of the content we produce in esports. So there's just, I mean, I'm getting off topic here, but there's just it's a whole conundrum when you talk about scaling and how do we start bridging that gap between traditional broadcast media and new media, aka what you're watching right now. Him Tires has the, or Tiers, I don't know how you say that name, has the economy stuff changed a lot since Midas Mode 1? I would not say a lot. It's the same basic concept, same basic formula. We've definitely improved it. We have more heads on it, and now we have more data to work around. I actually think last time the Midas Mode 1 algorithm was not as bad as it seemed, because it got ruined by one exploit that everyone used, and once that exploit was kind of, I shouldn't say exploit, but once that flaw in the algorithm was identified, or that improper coefficient, let's call it. And of course, this is randoming. For those of you that don't really know what I'm talking about, in the first Midas mode, we had this issue where we weren't sure how to calibrate randoming, where bans are sort of similar, or you have to think like, okay, in Dota, bans don't cost anything. Like, players or teams always use all of their bans because there's really no cost associated with it. You you lose nothing by using all the bans, and you do lose something if you don't ban. In Midas mode, it's different because bans cost something. So you have to evaluate, well, is a ban even worth it to begin with if you have to pay for it? And then if yes, okay, well, look at these values. Are these heroes that we want to ban at a value that this feels worth it against this team? So that becomes a complicated conundrum. And then you have to think, well, what if a team runs out of Moonbucks and they can't afford to pick any heroes? Okay, well, obviously they would random or something like that. All right, well, extension of that, what if a team chooses to random? Okay, well, should that be 0? And then we started thinking about it and said, well, randoming is pretty random. You could random a hero you don't know how to play, or that completely fucks your lineup. So we added an additional bonus for randoming. So instead of it just being 0, we said, hey, if you random, you get plus 200 Moonbucks or whatever it was. So one team started doing this like, all right, well, let's random the first hero so we get a little extra, and then we'll try to draft around that. Maybe you ban around or pick 2 heroes, or you random 2 heroes, and then you start picking the remainder of your roster around that, so your draft is a wash, right? Maybe that's a strategy. Okay, well then, extension of that, teams and players, the min-maxers that they are, go, well, what if we just random the whole draft? How bad could it be? What if we just random and then just get paid to play this game? That way, even if we lose, we still make Moonbucks. Yeah, that's a problem. And then the extension of that is once one team does that, the other team goes, well, fuck, if they're just going to all random, we have to all random, because if we don't, we're paying to have a chance to lose. So the value proposition just becomes, well, the play is just to all random. And then it just becomes an all random tournament. And you're like, well, this isn't what we wanted. So that was a big fuck up. And that fuck up kind of had this domino effect where once that's identified, it's just like, okay, yep, that was a hole. Once that's plugged, the rest of the system was actually calibrated pretty well. So we fixed that by doing the stock market bomb, where the techies thing went off and we did this market crash and kind of recalibrated all the Moonbucks that everybody made from all randoming, and sort of made a meme out of it. So we recovered, but I think with that fixed, in terms of there's 2 things. I hope this has been announced. I hope I'm not spoiling something here, but there's 2 big changes to that. One, randoming will not be a bonus anymore. So that's a big fix. Even if it's 0, that's huge. And it might, I don't know if it's 0 or if it's just, it might cost like 10 Moonbucks to random, right? So you still have to pay something. And if you don't have any, then it's 0. 2 is I don't think we're going to true random anymore, because we did see a couple. I think there was one match in particular where a team randomed at the end, and it was like the perfect random, where we looked and we were like, holy shit, this is an A-tier roster. I can't believe that they actually random something, and this is how it just looks like a normal draft. So I think it's going to be like a community vote or like panel vote or some sort of ubiquitously worse. It might be like you random in the bottom 10% of the cheapest heroes. So you don't have a chance to get a good hero. If you're forced to random, it's like guaranteed you're getting somebody who is like not strong in the meta or that no team is picking. So I think those calibrations make a huge difference. And then there are some other tweaks as well to the formula that are a little above my head, but I think it's just been calibrated better. Ask a VIP. VIP picks the hero. I think that is definitely in the wheelhouse of what we want to do with VIPs. That's why we have some features announced, but I think we have some stuff that we're going to develop sort of on the fly. Is like, hey, anytime we need like a vote or a data point or like, hey, this could go either way. Hey, VIP. What do you think? You know, that kind of thing. So the goal is to make VIPs part of the show as much as they want to be. I don't want to scare anyone. I know there have got to be a couple of the VIP ticket holders that are like, please don't pick me. Please don't pick me. I'm going to sit in the back row so that I don't have to go up on stage. You know, it's totally cool. If you're a VIP that's just there for the experience, you just want to hang out and watch, you're not going to be like forced onto camera or like have a microphone thrown in your face or anything like that. It's all completely volunteer. You know, if you want to, that sort of stuff. If you don't want to touch VR, you don't want to do Roche, dude, no problem. You can hang out, you can take some pictures. I'll be happy to shake your hand, drink a beer with you, whatever. You know, so it's all optional. Those are just, you know, additional value adds for some VIPs. So call time. So I actually do need to confirm this. I know we've been saying 10 o'clock. Originally, we were thinking first match starts at 10 o'clock Mountain Time. I think it's actually going to be more like doors open at 10 o'clock Mountain Time. The show will probably start promptly at 10, maybe slightly before. The goal was definitely to have first match started by 10:30 Mountain Time. For those of you that don't know Mountain Time, it's just one in from Pacific where California is. So that's 9:30 a.m. Pacific Time. So yeah, we are a little wary of things dragging. We don't want to go too late into the day. We are tentatively planning some after content. We're not promising anything. We're going to take it as it comes and see how the schedule feels. And at the end of the day, if talent are feeling good and fresh and we want to do some Mafia or Werewolf or some after panels or, a live What the Duck or some shit like that, we might mix in some content as hey, Midas Mode is done for the day. Now the after show begins. And some days we might just hang out and do some fan service and hang around in the venue and just relax a little bit. It's going to be a balance. This event is very much an ebb and flow. And don't forget that on the last day of the grand finals day, right? So that Sunday, we've changed it a little bit. It was originally going to be NA finals on Saturday, EU finals on Sunday, but then we looked at the times and how that translates for the EU players, and it wasn't great. So now there are 2 best of 3s on Saturday, and there's going to be 2 best of 5s on Sunday. So Sunday is going to be Championship Sunday for NA and EU, and then there's no after party because the after party is China. China flows right after that Sunday into Monday. So we have a gauntlet stream of that Sunday is going to be 2 best of 5s, grand final for NA, grand final for EU. There's going to be some sort of exciting content in the middle that I can't leak yet, but that we're working on. And then we'll probably have a 2 or 3 hour break. And then the graveyard shift is going to start for folks that are going to be coming in to cover China. So pretty wild. What about What the Horse? I would love to do something like that. I think that content is cool. It does take a lot of prep work, though, and I think we have so much else on our plate with all these interactions that we will not have a What the Horse prepped, but stuff like that is pretty cool. I've been wanting to do a Moonduck science fiction theater, and I don't know how to set it up right, and I think there are big-time copyright issues. We'd have to watch old black and white movies or something, but God, I so badly want to watch The Room on a panel of me, Slacks, Mott, and Trent with the silhouettes of our heads overlaid over the bottom and us just fucking ripping into it the entire time. I mean, I don't know if it would be good content. I just think it would be fun. I want it personally, just as a satisfaction of my own. I want to do it. Commentary tracks. Yeah, that's probably true. So, and for China, it's going to be overnight. The seating is still going to be available. We're really not expecting many fans to show up to watch China live just because the time is really brutal. Not only is it overnight, but it's also not on a weekend, right? It's overnight, Sunday into Monday morning, Monday into Tuesday morning, and Tuesday into Wednesday morning. So that's the beginning of a work week. There aren't many people that can just flip their schedule and come hang out and just watch Chinese Dota with us overnight. So if you have a day ticket, you can just come to China. It's essentially free is what I'm getting at. We're not going to be oh, you don't have that $20 ticket to get in for China. I heard at least one person asking, and maybe it was on Twitter or something, about how the China ticketing works. It's going to be fairly lax because we don't expect a huge turnout. So if you want to come overnight for China, just buy a weekday pass and you'll be completely covered. Be all good. Come hang out with us. It'll actually be pretty fun. If you are in a position where you can bear to stay up all night or most of the night and get a couple of naps in the no bone zone, dude, it's gonna be cool. Those broadcasts are very intimate, and talent are just kind of there. You have a front row seat and you get to see that little glimpse behind the scenes where you can see what it looks like on camera, you can see what it looks like off camera, you can kind of hear the way people talk to each other and engage and do stuff when they're transitioning and the mics aren't hot. It's kind of cool. It's a different experience completely. I mean, I don't want to sell the weekend short, right? It's super hype when it's packed and everybody's screaming and the energy's there and it's a hype crowd, but it is just a totally different experience when there's 15 people in the audience and we're talking to you right there. it's pretty cool. That's a rarity, man. You don't get many opportunities to do that. Are we doing production for China? No. We are providing China with a clean feed, so I guess sort of a half yes. I don't know why I said hard no there. Huya is our official Chinese partner. They will be covering all of the games on their platform. Very exciting. They are huge in China. They're a great partner to have. I couldn't be more excited to have Huya on board. They will be covering most of it, I think, from our clean feed, but they will also have an observer in the lobby. So they'll be doing their own kind of camera work in between. They'll have their own access to the drafting portal so that they can, log in and see everything on their end. So it's a combination, but we are going to have coverage in that region. We are working on other language stuff. It's slow and steady. It's been a real conundrum because we have very limited lobby slots. All of these fan integrations require different computers plugged into the game client, and that really eats up the amount of people that we can have in the lobby, and there is a hard limit on that. It's not unlimited. You can't just open up the floodgates and say, yeah, we've got 100 observers. The lobby can only handle so many sockets. So we don't have enough for all of the languages that have reached out asking for coverage rights, and it's always a song and dance, right? Like, I do believe that other languages should pay for rights. It's complicated, right? Because I've had this conversation with a couple Russian commentators of like, well, it sucks because it's a one-way street where we have to pay to hire you guys as English casters for our tournaments, but then when it comes the other way around, you want to sell us the rights to have Russia or whatever these other languages are cover it. And while I agree that doesn't feel very fair, that is sort of just the nature of English being, quote, a global language. And for your tournament to be profitable, you need an English stream because that's where you're selling most of your ads, generally speaking, because it's an audience that has a high purchasing parity, so they spend a lot of money on shit, relatively speaking. So it's just a function of economics. You need the English stream, and I know you make money off of it, so you got to pay me for it. I don't really make any money off the Russian stream, so sorry. It's a weird conundrum. Now, at the same time, given all that, that doesn't mean we want to completely limit access to the tournament in other languages. We want it to be accessible. I don't want to make it impossible for people that don't speak English to enjoy the tournament. So there is a balance there, and it is definitely a tight balance because, we don't want to just give the rights away to folks when there are companies that could genuinely afford to pay for it and are running ads and are, they are a commercial enterprise. But at the same time, there are some great community members out there that I have no qualms about giving the rights to and saying, hey, man, you can cover this. You'll be our exclusive Brazilian caster, for example, and you can just do it on your stream and run ads or do whatever, and I'll just give you our overlays so that you've got the proper sponsor stuff. So we're working on that right now. Right now, English and Chinese, I can say 100%. Russia, we are still negotiating. It's complicated, but now that the team roster has gone live, I'm feeling much more confident that we will have a Russian partner. They really want to watch TI1 Navi, so I think where there's a will, there's a way. So we're going to be working on an announcement with that stuff. But I guess all that is a long-winded way to say, for those of you out there hoping to watch it in something other than English, please have some patience with me on this one and be a little bit forgiving because we are limited. We really are limited on lobby slots, and for some of the languages, we're going to have to make some tough decisions and say, sorry, man. And it's tough to give people permission to just cast off of my stream, to say yeah, just take the Moonduck stream and just take it and just cast over it in your native tongue. I'm willing to do that for specific people on a limited basis, but that's a big give. That's big. It's just cast from Dota TV. Well, that would work, except it's a custom game. So I don't know if that's actually possible. There's no Dota TV for this. Like, this is not a Dota TV thing. That's also what makes it complicated. I would say just cast from Dota TV. Doc Bolts, did my part and threw some money at you guys. Great job. Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it. I don't know where you were throwing that money. Hopefully it ended up in the right pocket. Probably an Indiegogo supporter. Either way, man, appreciate it. Man or lady. Show up live. B tier item. Very nice, dude. I'm looking forward to it. I really can't wait. And we should have some books just in time. Just in time. It's actually really weird. I tweeted this the other day, but or I think it was yesterday, but it's strange that when you put a book on Amazon, first of all, you have no idea about the timeline. You know, this was a totally new experience for me. You're putting all this data in, and it's like a 3-step process, and you can't see what's at the next step until you finish the step before it. And step 2 is finalizing and approving your manuscript and your cover art and stuff, which is a pretty tedious endeavor. There's a lot of like specific details and margins and all this shit that has to be lined up perfect. It's very finicky. We had like, I think actually 10 different versions of the final draft before Amazon accepted it. Fine, whatever. It needs to be the way that they want it. But you finally get to that point and you're like, all right, we're done. And then you get to the third screen and you're like, oh, okay. So it takes like a good 72 hours to process now that we got it all here. All right, cool, whatever. No problem. And then I go to sleep and wake up the next day and it's like, book is live. I'm like, well, that was 16 hours. Okay, well, that's pretty cool, but there's no pre-sale or pre-announcement or any, like, it's just there now. Okay, cool. So that was just a little bit surprising, and I had figured there'd be a lag time for printing, and there kind of isn't. My girlfriend ordered one, and she was like, all right, it'll arrive on the 21st. I'm like, the 21st? That's Saturday. That's awesome. So I ordered my author copies. I don't know if this is public knowledge, but anytime you publish on Amazon through their KDP, that's Kindle Direct Publishing, it's their author portal, you get to order author copies at cost. So it doesn't count towards your Amazon sales or reviews or anything, but for like events like Midas Mode, or if I was going to go do book signings or whatever, even just to give them to family or friends or sell them on my website, whatever you want to do, you can order in bulk at the cost to print. So I ordered my batch, but they're delayed. I don't get them until September 26th, I think was the delivery time. And it seemed it didn't matter what quantity I put in, the author copies are just delayed. So I'm like, well, this kind of sucks. Everyone else that ordered it already is going to get to see a physical copy of the book before I do. I'm going to be one of the last people that gets to see it, man. Hopefully the cover's not printed sideways. Hopefully it's all good. Because there's no taking it back after that. So it's just it's been a really interesting process. The ebook is still to go. Like, that's the thing, right? We didn't have the ebook done yet because I figured, all right, well, project management, we don't want to stack time. It's going to take 72 hours. So let's finish the paperback. We'll submit that. While that's processing, we'll work on the ebook, and then maybe they'll kind of be ready to release at the same time. And that, of course, didn't happen at all. The book got accepted immediately, and now my guy that's formatting the ebook is away because he has a wedding this weekend, which is totally understandable. So it's sort of half done, and it's going to be done hopefully by like Wednesday of next week. So right as Midas Mode is getting kicked off, we'll have the ebook ready to go, and then the books will arrive. So we'll have some available for sale in person at Midas Mode if you haven't picked one up on Amazon yet. And of course, if anybody wants a signed copy, that will be quite easy to do at Midas Mode. I will be there, and there will be books there. It feels so weird talking about signing books. It feels so pretentious. Just like, well, and if you want a signed one, it feels pretentious to assume people want my signature. I don't know how to process that. Lucan Bale. That's a great question. Merchandise, dude. We are gonna have some sick merch. We're gonna have this shirt. The blue moon duck. Look how happy that hippo is, dude. Big fan. And these are prime. These are the tri-blend, super soft, super comfy. These are the nice soft print. It's not that like sticky plastic, but it's the durable. I forget what it is. It the digital print? I forget. It's nice, dude. It's nice. This shirt's been washed like 2 or 3 times already. Well, the lighting in here is not great, but it has not faded at all. This is basically what it looked like when I opened it. We've got a great spread of merch. We've got this shirt in gray, this shirt in blue. We've got a zip-up hoodie. We've got a pullover hoodie, both of which I'm very happy with. Really great quality. The pullover, it's a little bit lighter. It's not one of those like super fuzzy hoodies. It's like a springtime hoodie. Big fan. The zip-up is a little bit warmer. It's a little more akin to like a Twitch hoodie. It's got the fuzzy inside, so it's a little warmer, a little more heavy duty. We've got Midas Mode shirts, same design, but 2 different colors. We've got a pink, a nice heather pink, and we've got like it's either a chocolate or like a charcoal, something like that, a nice dark print. So we've got a A little bit of his and hers type action going on. We've got pins available, so we'll have the Moonduck pin, just our normal Moonduck logo, like the one on this shirt. We'll have a Sir Sadim pin, and we will have a Mr. Midas pin, so you can kind of pick your poison there, get the whole set if you're so inclined. We should actually do a sale for the whole set. That's a good idea. We've got Moonduck mouse pads. They're pretty generic. I don't think I have one next to me here, but they're just regular mouse pads. They're not like huge gamer ones. I think the print looks really good, but you know, we figured the mouse pads will be good if people wanted to collect talent signatures. I've seen a lot of times mouse pads are just a good little collector's item. So the mouse pads are sort of designed for that. We've got some larger actual like gamer status Midas Mode branded game mouse pads that are pretty cool. They'll have those available for sale. They're slightly more expensive because they're larger and a better cut. What am I forgetting? We've got 2 different hoodies. Oh, and then we've got the other Moonduck shirt. We've got the tiled hippos on debut at the Jungle Jam. So a lot of talent wearing those, but it's sort of like that Chibi Dota one where it's all of them tiled around with the big one in the middle. Big fan of that design. That heathered gray, really, really like that one. It took us a couple iterations to get it right, but I think it turned out pretty well. So that's most. We've also got those sticky things that you put on the back of your phone. You know what I'm talking about? The little pop-up. I forget what they're called. The pop tab things. I don't know how cool those are, but I believe we have those for sale. And we've got some pretty cool goodie bags. So everyone that comes will get a little grab bag that has some, well, I don't want to spoil it, but it will have some unique Midas Mode goodies that are kind of cool, kind of memorable, you know, branded. We tried to do some stuff that was against the grain. So I think that's everything merch related. We were going to have figurines, but that ended up not panning out. We've got lanyards. That's the lanyards are free. I think the lanyards come with the badges. But the other thing that's cool, we do have like physical tags for all the different folks. There's like VIP badges, there's general admission badges, but it's an actual badge. It's not like a wristband or some shit like that. You get this physical kind of cool. It's like plastic and it's durable. It feels like a TI badge, you know, and I really like those. I didn't realize how cheap they were. I think we would have done that at past events, or I guess really just Captain's Draft. But in the future, I think we're going to keep doing that. It's so nice to have this just physical little takeaway of like, I was fucking there, man. The Slacks figurine. Now that's something. I want the Slacks Funko Pop, dude. That's the real play. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, to circle back, so I saw that comment about Kindle. Yeah, I was planning on putting it on the Apple store as well once we have the finalized ebook. Unfortunately, the timing on all that with Midas Mode has proven pretty hectic. We are still planning on doing the audiobooks too. 100% it's going to be me doing one read in my voice and then one of Slacks reading it also in my voice. The book is written in first person. So it's like, you know, I did this. I started this tournament. This person said this to me. I got upset. You know, obviously it's written a bit more eloquently than that, but it's a very personal story told from like my memory bank. So almost always with books like that, the audiobooks are read by the author because it makes sense. They're telling their own story. So just the nature of Slacks doing that, reading it in my voice, is already kind of funny and a little bit weird. And he's already promised that he will be mixing in his own sort of opinions, antics, reactions. It's going to be the director's cut. It's not going to be edited. It's not going to be like a proper audiobook where the only words heard are what's on the paper. It's going to be Slacks reading it and then either making fun of me or praising me or whatever area in the middle is available to be found. So he did warn me. I will say, when I double confirmed with him before I tweeted it with the announcement that we were still keen, and he said, I'm in, but I'm going to warn you, I'm going in, dude. I am 100% going to give my honest reaction, and there might be times where I think you sound like a fucking idiot, and I'm going to say it. I was like, dude, fair enough. It would be an honor to be blasted by you, good sir, but he has never warned me to that degree before, so I'm actually a little bit nervous, but also excited to hear the Slacks rendition. The Sniff chapter is going to be particularly titillating. I can't wait to hear the Slacks reaction. I also can't wait to hear his reaction when he's first mentioned in the book, because It's not mean, but it's a little less than flattering. I think I described him as a unknown talent yet to be discovered. I might have used the phrase tier 2, possibly even tier 3. Some random dipshit showed up with his dinosaur costume. I'm looking forward to recording the ebook, but I'm also dreading it, or recording the audiobook, because I feel like I won't be able to resist the urge to either cringe or also do voices and just Zyori-ize it. Midas Mode has the most winning TI rosters of any Dota tournament ever. Oh, that is pretty crazy, actually. That's a good point, Ninetales. Holy shit. Yeah, we should have used that as a tagline. It's true. I'm trying to think of another. It's true because TI rosters don't stick around for very long. Like, for a long time, that was the meme, right? The TI curse, you win a TI, and then you get complacent, and that's where you stop pushing, and then those teams almost inevitably break up or, you know, change or otherwise fail before the next TI comes around. There might be a counterexample, but I sure can't think of it. Yeah, I like that, coward. Surviving Esports, the roast of Zyori as read by Sir Action Slacks. That's actually a very apropos title. I dig on it. Yeah, let's check this Reddit thread, dude. Let's go in there. Let's delve deep, as I like to say. Oh, man. This is how you know you've really made it. You've got your announcement here. Number 1. Oh, I'm not logged in, that's why. And then under it is the meme on top of your meme. We've really broken through, ladies. Now, this is what they should have had in my textbook in college for market penetration. This is a perfect example. The kind of market penetration you can't buy. Love that. Super Smash Brothers music, OG flukes into Midas Mode, and some Seb. Dude, even 1,000 upvotes on this thread. Damn. This is insane, though. 3,800 upvotes, 3 hours. I mean, we're like /r all territory. Might not have made it yet. Yeah, there's some pretty serious stuff upvoted here. But at this rate, not there yet. We're not there yet. But we're chugging. Mike Maggs with the first comment. Look at this. Have we sold out of anything yet? I can check the back end, but tickets still available. Dude, look at that. VIPs. Does this mean we've got 5 VIP tickets left? Wow. So we're not sold out of anything. But I think we might. The VIPs are in hot demand. I think the weekend with LAN access could still sell out also. I think there might only be 10 of these left. It's not many. Get them while you can, folks. You can show up day of for the weekdays. As a pretty quick little just disclaimer there. But I would not try to show up day of on the weekend. That shit might sell out. Let's see if there's any questions in here. Guess I should probably move my camera to the other side, huh? Wow. Some pretty graphic contacts here. My first post ever on Reddit. Well, I think we might have done it, folks. Production quality. Wow. Feels good, man. Today is the day that we actually get a little bit of breathing room. It's funny because it seems like it would be the most chaotic. We talked to, I had a meeting this morning, and you're sort of joking. He's like, oh, I'm sorry to bug you with the announcement going out today. I bet this is like the really intense time for you. I'm like, actually, this is the time when we get to sit back and take 20 minutes to just appreciate our work. You know, you just drop that post, and then you just take your hands off and go, it's out there. I've done what I can. It's gone. Hopefully they like it. And that's where you just watch that flood of new comments come in, and you know, it's either a disaster or it's an exciting moment. And of course, today it turned out to be a pretty exciting moment. So it's been a great day. It feels good. Very rewarding to get to this point, but still a lot of work ahead. Today is testing day. So after I'm done here, we're going to start getting stuff organized for software testing. We've got hardware testing and travel tomorrow. Like, we've got producers leaving home in less than 12 hours. That's how close we are to Betway Midas Mode 2 actually taking shape. So there's a lot of shit still going on here. I wish I could just kick back and play some World of Warcraft, but it's going to be a lot of long days. Oh, it was number 40? Did I scroll past it? Oh, shit. There you go. I'm blind. Wow, you were right. Where are we? Here we go. Number 40 on /r all. Twice gilded and 4 silvers. Holy shit. Look at Slacks getting all this karma. Front page, here we come. That's actually kind of a feat of strength. I mean, not that /r all is like, I mean, not many Dota fans out there, but that is really one of those just kind of crazy feats that we can put in a deck and say to sponsors like, hey, we've gone viral. You'd be surprised at the amount of sponsors that approach us with the question, sort of, usually they ask it in a little more tactful manner than that, but folks that say, we're really just looking to go viral. You know, they'll describe like Reddit posts, be like, we're looking for that. Like, well, okay. The whole thing with that is you can't buy it. That's like sort of the point, you know? That's kind of what makes it viral. If you could buy it, then everybody would buy it, and then it wouldn't be viral anymore. That's the whole thing. The Dota 2 subreddit isn't allowed in /r all. It's all coming together. We've got Huya, we've got Hotspawn, we've got Betway, we've got the big partners, we've got Layerth, dude. So excited to have Layerth on board, dude. Buka and JJ are so good at what they do. It's so nice to have a production crew that I have this peace of mind where I know that they get it. Like, I don't have to explain to them why we have to run Twitch commercials at a certain interval. You know, I don't have to explain to them the different overlays we need because they fucking know. Like, better yet, they know better than I do. It's a street the other way where, sure, I give them some notes and assets, but they've got a lot of direction and a lot of vision already, and it's just this intersection of, dude, we share a vision, and we don't have to over communicate to get to that sweet spot. Oh, it's so good. I can't wait. It's been a hot minute, man. It's been since Captain's Draft 4 since we got to do a proper full-on Moonduck production with the full crew. And now we've got Pop-Tart with us. We're slowly stealing Pop-Tart away from BTS. Best NA observer, dude. Look out. You're going to have to butter up Pimp Muckle there. You have to buy him some good German beers. Get him some mineral waters. If you want the real brownie points, David, it's the bubbly water. The Germans go crazy for it. I don't know what it is over there, but they can't. You go to Germany and it's just like flat water, just regular water is like hidden in the corner, tucked behind all the other beverages. All the water is sparkling, man. It's all sparkling. I like sparkling, but sometimes when you're thirsty, you just want a regular water. I don't want my chest to feel like it's going to explode from carbon dioxide. Can confirm, am German. So I'm just saying, David, if you really want to fit in back there, get some bratwurst, get some fucking beers, get some bubbly water. You'll be right in. Now, this is high-risk behavior, though, because Slacks hates bubbly water. If he even sees the bubbly water in production, you run the risk of getting flamed. So, balances, my friend, right? You got to go full Libra on this. You got to be the scales. Oh, man. The muesli. Oh, there you go. That's top tier. Yeah. Oh, I have vivid memories of listening to Pimp Muckle talk about muesli, and Americans going, "What the fuck is muesli?" Just as I have vivid memories of him trying to teach us how to pronounce his name, and all of us going, "Pimp Muckle?" And he goes, "Pimp Muckle." And then we all try to imitate it and go, "Pimp Muckle, Pimp Muckle." And of course, he's saying it properly, and I can't even come close to saying it right, but Pimp Muckle. Germany's cool. So there was an event. I don't know how public this is, and Gary B, you're in chat, so maybe you can rein me in here, but I guess we mentioned on the last podcast, but there was going to be an event in Berlin that JD was working on, right? So this whole calendar shift with the dates did mess up one of the events that was working on that I was planning on or hoping to go to. So I was going to go hang out in Berlin. Like, I have been wanting to go to Berlin for so long. I've been to Cologne. I've been to Frankfurt. I've been to that other town in Germany, I can't remember. I've been to Germany multiple times. I've enjoyed the beers there. I've enjoyed the food there. I've enjoyed the esports there. It's been a great place. But I hear Berlin is on like another level. And the amount of people that have come up to me independently and just been like, you would fit in Berlin. You would like it. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? And then they kind of do that, like they look me up and down and go, just trust me on this. You would fit in there. I'm like, what, are they fucking weird? Everyone wearing tight pants? Bunch of homos over there? What are you getting at here, dog? Apparently Berlin's a crazy ass city. It's sort of like got that like keep Austin weird sort of vibe, like keep Berlin weird. Is what I've been told. I don't know if this is true. If I'm being a little bit rude towards Berlin German culture right now, I apologize. These are rumors. These are things people tell me, not things I actually think. And that's why I was excited to go to Berlin and see if any of this stuff is true and try to verify for myself and, get it on over there. But alas, I'll have to wait for another time. I was planning on staying for like an additional couple days, maybe 5 or 6. Sorry, just got another message from the boss here. East Germany. Berlin's the only city that really feels metropolitan in Germany. Interesting. All right. Yeah, I was surprised at how, we went out a couple of times in Frankfurt. We went to like, I don't know, some downtown type area to some restaurants and shit. But I was surprised at whatever the first, was it one of the ESL Frankfurts or the first time I was there, like how big the venue was and how like middle of nowhere it was. I was staying at some hotel that was like 2 stops on the train. It was walkable if you wanted to walk for half an hour or something, but you could just take the little train for €0.50 and it's like 2 stops. It was probably €2. But anyway, I just couldn't believe how rural it felt. Like I was walking along the road and there's just like grown up grass tickling my legs. It didn't feel city-esque whatsoever. It was sort of not alarming, but just it's not what I picture in my head when I think of Germany for some reason. And I'm sure that's just based on seeing like pictures of World War II or like various other industrial parts of like, talking about economies and shit like that. So you're just seeing these little snapshots of the small metropolitan areas. But most of my experience in Germany has felt very rural and very interesting. Frankfurt was a little scary, dude. We saw some scary folks in the train station in Frankfurt that were like they were doing some drugs very publicly, and I don't know. There's a lot of there's rampant drug abuse in America, but it like we have this weird thing about privacy in America, and it seems like people are a little more discreet about stuff because that's just how our culture's wired, and that was just not the experience I had in Frankfurt, man. Shit was wild. Getting lost in the train station. Fun, though. Fun to get drunk and follow Gary B around. All right, gang. Well, if you have any other questions here, happy to entertain them. I think I'm going to wrap this thing up. I got to get back to work. My messages are starting to rack up a little bit here, so I got to get back to it. But this was a nice break. I'm glad we had some familiar faces here tuning in to enjoy our first chat with chat. Like I said, I want to do these more often. I want to start doing my weekly just casual chat with chat streams and just kick back, let the words flow, and just see what happens. It's good. You know, spend so much time. It's like the Bob Saget effect. I've seen him do stand-up a couple times, and it's really raunchy. And he says it's because he had to do so much PC, family-oriented content with, what's that show? America's Funniest Home Videos. Like, oh, Dad's doing it again. Oh, you see that? Oh, that's a funny one. And just being that super plastic, like, oh, you rascals. It just fucks with you, and it he used to joke that he developed this onset Tourette's from it. Now when he goes on stage, he can't resist the urge to just say really offensive shit like, I used to finger fuck Kimmy Gibbler. Like, Jesus Christ, dude, that's way over the line. It's not even funny. That's just shock value fucked up, you know? I get what he's saying. I don't have it that extreme, but I feel those vibes a little bit. You have too many phone calls in a row where you're, talking to investors or sponsors or partners or whatever else, and you're selling and smiling. It's I need some candid. I need to get down into the gutter with my Twitch chat. I need to talk to the people. I need to get my finger on the pulse, man. I need that break. I need to dive back into reality. Just like Slack says, sometimes at events he'll just go sit in the crowd. Just I need to be with my people. I need to absorb some of the coach feeling. Fuck the backstage. Fuck the green room. I need coach. We don't fly first class. We fly coach. We fly with the people, man. We're on it. We're plugged in. What's going on with my hair? Great question, dude. I actually, on the top of my to-do list is call a hair cuttery. The problem is I don't have a salon person. I don't have a good haircut person. Since I moved to Colorado, I've been getting shitty haircuts from these chain hair cutteries, and I fucking hate it. It drives me crazy. And for a while, I was just doing the short sides, the flip up the top, the super vanilla, whatever. And even if you're a shitty fucking hair cutter, you can still do that. You know what I mean? I want something a little different. I need a good hair person. I need a good hair person. So I don't know. I need to figure that out. I just want to do something a little bit different. I don't want to go back to full dreads. I don't want to become some long-haired punk rocker again. But I look at all these pictures. I look back of just my super. It's what I looked like in high school, man. It's what I looked like. Not even high school. It's what I looked like in middle school. It was like the hairdo that I had when I first got a real haircut and started styling my hair in 6th grade. The put it down, flip up the front, and it's gotten me pretty far. It's done me well, but I'm fucking over it, man. I'm 30, all right? I've swung all the extremes where I had the crazy dreads and I had the fuck you, man. I'm going to look the way that I want. I'm not going to change myself for a bunch of viewers. I'm no sellout. And then I grew up a little bit and went, actually, looks kind of matter. Dreads are sort of obnoxious. I'm sort of over it. Let's go let's make some money, huh? Let's get those gigs that I couldn't get because of branding. So I swung back the other way, and I've been not super, but maybe by my standards, pretty nice and vanilla. And I need to land in the middle ground. I need to find something that's got a little more flavor, something that's a little more rocky road, a little bit of that rum raisin. You know what I'm saying? And right now I'm extra white bean vanilla, dude. I'm not even French vanilla. I'm fucking white vanilla. I don't know what it is, but it's not good. It's not memorable. So we'll see. The clip is just because it's curly as fuck, and if I don't clip it back, I just look like Base Kip, and that's even worse. I mean, I love Cameron, but I don't want to be known as Frododo. So I'm open to suggestions, folks. If you've got hairdos you think I could legitimately pull off, I would definitely like to see them tweeted at me. I think I want something a little longer up top. I like being able to style it and have a little bit of volume, but it's this stuff. I need to get these guys trimmed. This is where I saw a couple pictures from the Jungle Jam, and I was just that's not what I want to look like. That's not me, but I haven't figured it out yet. So I might still be in this disheveled state for Betway Midas Mode 2, but I'm working on it, gang. I'm working on it. It's tough out there, man. I need I need a consultant. I've elevated to this status now where I need somebody to help me with my appearance because I can't manage it myself. Man bun. I would recommend going to find an actual barber. You know, I hate to say this out loud. Label me a sexist if you must. I do not like having my hair cut by men. I've always felt this way, even since I was a kid, since I was a young sprout. I've always had women cut my hair. I don't know if that's just how it worked out. It's just because my mom was in charge of taking me to the salon. My dad, ever since I can remember, he's been getting his hair cut by the same lady. He goes to her house to have his hair cut. And I've gotten a disproportionate amount for the percentage of haircuts I've had from men and then from women. Most of the bad ones have come from men. And I don't know if it's because they don't care. I don't know if it's because they're not in touch with my inner femininity and they don't understand that I want to look a little fruity and they're trying to make me look like the ultra straight white guy. If there's a disconnect there and women are a little more in touch, like they see me and they're like, okay, I get it. How, like, there's something that gets lost in translation, and I just don't like it. It reminds me of when I went to buy my first suit. When I was in high school, I went to the Men's Warehouse in Deptford. Me and my pops, we tried on a couple things, and we had the old guy as the salesman. And when I say old, I mean he was like 70 or something. You know, he's fucking old. And he's still working there wearing his nice suit and all this stuff, and we're talking about styles. And he's like, well, you got to get it up above your belly button. And I just looked at him and said, dog, I don't wear pants at my belly button. He said, well, one day you're going to grow up and you're going to want to wear your pants higher like everyone else so you don't look like a dipshit. And I was just kind of like, yeah, no. Dog, your fucking pants are like up here. And that is like the look from the 50s because that's when you were hip. No offense, man. That's cool. It's been working for you for a lot of years. I'm not with it. So, like, it's like arguing with the sales guy about how to cut my pants because of where I'm going to wear them. I'm like, dude, I'm the one wearing the suit. I'm going to tell you right now, anytime I put this thing on, I'm putting it around my belt line where I feel like my belt line is comfortable. Calibrated around that. I'm not going to look at the mirror and be like, Bob from Men's Warehouse said I look like a dipshit if I don't put my pants in my armpits, so I might as well do it. Like, fuck you, man. I'm the one paying. You're the one measuring. I'm the one paying. Fucking do what I want. It pissed me off so much. I hate that old guy mentality of like, son, that dismissive, like, you don't know better. You're just a young dipshit. Fuck you, dude. I have this thing with like old, presumably straight white men just fucking piss me off. I can't handle it. Not all of them. But in that kind of context with like fashion or hair or something like that, it's like, dude, I hate to be that guy that's like drawing a hard line. I'm profiling you here, but are there any homosexuals that work here? Can I just get like someone that's in touch with me? Can I get someone that understands my sense of style? Do you have that? If not, then I'm gonna go somewhere else. Like, oh, I hate that. Yeah, I mean, that's what you get for going to Men's Warehouse, right? I mean, seriously, Men's Warehouse is pretty like entry level. All their suits are the same fucking thing. None of it's really that standoutish. You go in and say, I want something wild. And they're like, all right, here's an olive suit. Olive is really wild. I'm like, olive is not wild. That's, again, my grandfather has an olive suit, dog. You got any grays? You got any pinstripes? Got any charcoals? You got any double-breasted? You got anything interesting here, homie? No, they don't. They never do. Anyway, all right, I digress. Folks, this was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for letting me complain about this. For real, though, I am open-minded to some hairstyles. I really do need to find something. I've got too much shit going on, so we'll see. But we're working on it. We're all a work in progress, right? Final sellout, folks. Please check out the book. So much work went into it. I'm so glad it's finally out there. I'm humbled by so many people that have reached out and said they bought it. If you did buy it on Amazon, I would please ask that you consider leaving a rate or a review once you get your hands on the book and you get to check it out a little bit. Those ratings and reviews really make a big difference. Be honest. I'm not saying give it a 5-star. If you think my writing sucks, give it a 4, man. If you think the book was a waste of money, give it a 2. Let's get some honest ratings on there. I really want some honest feedback. A lot of effort went into it. I definitely want you all to like it. I really think you will like it, but honesty is the key, and I want to know how close I came to the mark. If the tone was right, if the stories are interesting, You know, it's a long one. I tried to condense it as best as I could, but I'm just excited for those stories to be out there and, you know, shed some light on the stuff that happens behind the scenes. So much of our work in esports is just captured in moments like this, where it's like our best selves, right? Where we're polished, we're rehearsed, where we've got makeup on and nice clothes on and lights and all these things working in our favor. So much goes into it. And that's one of the cool things about Midas Mode, is that Slacks has revealed behind the veil a little bit with these blogs, showing people how difficult it is and how many moving parts there are and how many things are all working in tandem for an event like this to come together, and that it's really not easy, and there's a lot of risk associated with it. The book tries to capture some of that. You know, I go into detail about forming the Summit 1 and the Summit 2 and starting at BTS and trying to use my anecdotes to take away sort of lessons learned so that you guys don't fall into the same fucking traps I did, that same kind of overworked stuff. So it's, hopefully you find it interesting. You know, I always talk about the chapter with TI4, the one that I felt like every other talent was invited to except me, where I was like sort of singled out almost in some ways. And TI5 was the first TI I ever got to work. And of course, publicly, I just tweeted like, hey, congratulations to everybody. I'll be there as press. Excited to see everyone. That's not really how I felt in real life. There was a lot of turmoil the weeks surrounding that final announcement and not knowing whether or not I'd be going to TI, and then finally getting that crushing news after seeing all these other first-timers getting their big shot to impress everybody on camera. Like, there were a lot of moving pieces there, and there were like a lot of moments where I wanted to quit or give up, and different forces kept me in it. And I think it goes a long way in illustrating that there's no easy answer to that. How do I get a job in esports? It's like, I don't fucking know, man. You kind of just have to do it and figure it out. It's a degree of perseverance and luck and being in the right place at the right time, and also being honest with yourself and developing skills and networking with people. It's this whole complicated system. And, you know, my ultimate goal with it is just to show that that is a unique system for everyone. There's no carbon copy thing that you can say, yeah, get this degree, talk to this guy, get this entry-level job, and then you'll be in esports. You know, by the time you're done college, the industry might look way different. It moves quick. It changes quick. So anyway, wanted to capture some of that stuff before it got lost. And if you played Heroes of Newerth, dude, there's definitely some Heroes of Newerth dirt in there. So get on it. I like that breakdown, Romark. 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 15% pain. That's a good breakdown. That's a fucking fun. Dude, if you sent me that pie chart, I would retweet that shit. That is some truth right there. But all right, gang, I'm going to play the team announcement video one more time. I'm sure y'all have seen it by now, but I think we're going to close with that. And I'm going to get out of here and get back to work. We got more to do to get this Betway Midas Mode 2 off the ground. David, we're going to be seeing you soon. Boys and girls in chat, I can't wait to see y'all on the stream. Hopefully some of those pretty faces in Denver also. It's going to be a good one. Here it is. Let's check it out one last time.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come for the team announcement of the Betway Midas Mode 2. Now, before we begin, we need to address the elephant in the room. The tournament almost didn't happen. Every single team pulled out when the news of the qualifiers dropped. We had to start from scratch just 10 days before the tournament was even live. So, I would like you to keep an open mind for these 12 teams, because these are the very best that we could get. Now let's start in no particular order. Might not be what you expected, but please welcome the two-time, back-to-back TI champions, OG! Featuring Anna before he retires, with a new addition to the hero roster, an IO, the IO skin OG purchased for the $1 million Midas project. The Dead Gang Devils themselves, VG Gaming. Let me hear your loudest gah for South America's #1 shit stompers, Team Catburgers, or Envergesa. The EA Stack, featuring Brian, Mooney, Snakey, AUY 2000, Eternal, Envy.
Drop your stick! Drop your stick!
Fnatic, featuring Moon, Jazz, 23 Savage, and the event's predetermined MVP winner, Betty. East Coast! I hope you remember the TI8 Grand Finals. Please welcome LGD's very close friends, Eho! And finally, for our last international team, Burning's Legion. North America's Great Hope, Evil Geniuses. Wait, I'm sorry, what? They're not playing. But they bought the clothes. Why would they? All right, I'll figure something out. Well, how about an XEG member bringing the lightning, bringing the thunder? It's Fear from Team J-Storm.
Oh, brother, did you really think that I would let you go through your little tournament without a team of my own? May I present to you the Sir Sadim Stunners, featuring Cindering, Gork, Sing Sing, Sexy Bamboo, and of course, Wagamama. You see, brother, my mercenaries have killed every other Dota team in existence. You're 2 teams short, brother. Your tournament is doomed.
What is that music? Why is there music playing?
You're right, Sadim. There are no teams left in our time.
Wait,
That's why Mr. Midas spent the last 5 days designing this time flux portal.
What?
Brought back the greatest stacks to ever grace Dota 2 history. May I present you T.I. Freeze Alliance.
What?
Featuring Lona, Bulldog, EGM, Ake, and S4. But that's not all. I hope you remember the original badasses of Dota 2, TI1's Navi!
Oh, come on!
Featuring Denny, Havos, Artstyle, Puppy, and Light of Heaven. May I present to you the teams of Midas Mode 2. Let's get ready to Midas Mode! Special thanks to our International Commissioner Jack Chen, aka KBBQ, for his assistance.
Thank you!
All right, see you next time.